book chose is The Origin of Eternal Death by Edward S. Curtis, The North American Indian, Volume 8, 1911. Coyote had a wife and two children, and so had Eagle. Both families lived together. Eagle's wife and children died. A few days later, Coyote experienced the same misfortune. As the latter wept, his companion said, "Do not mourn. Thou will not bring your wife back. Make ready your moccasins and we'll go somewhere." So the two prepared for a long journey and set out westward. After 4 days, they were close to the ocean. On one side of a body of water, they saw houses. Coyote called across, "Come with the boat." "Never mind, stop calling," bade Eagle. He produced some elderberry stalk, made a flute, and put the end into the water and whistled. Soon they saw two persons come out of a house, walk to the water's edge, and enter a canoe. Said Eagle, "Do not look at those people when they land." The boat drew near. But a few yards from the shore it stopped, and Eagle told his friend to close his eyes. He then took Coyote by the arm and leaped to the boat. The person paddled back, but when they stopped, a short distance from the other side, Eagle again cautioned Coyote to close his eyes and then leap the shore with him. They went to the village where there were many houses, but no people were in sight. Everything was still as death. There was a very large underground house into which they went. In it was found an old woman sitting with her face to the wall, and lying on the floor on the other side of the room was the moon. They sat down near the wall. Coyote whispered Eagle, "Watch that woman and see what she does when the sun goes down." Just before the sun set, they heard a voice outside calling, "Get up, hurry. The sun is going down and it will soon be night. Hurry, hurry." Coyote and Eagle still sat in the corner of the chamber, watching the woman. Coyote, as he watched, saw Eagle's wife and two daughters among them. Soon afterward, his whole family. When the room was filled, the old woman cried, "Are all in?" She turned about, and from a squatting posture, she jumped forward and again 5 times in all, until she alighted in a small pit beside the door. This she raised and swallowed, and at once it was pitch dark. People wandered about hither and thither, crowding and jostling, unable to see. About daylight, a voice from outside cried, "Grab the login." The woman then disgorged the moon and laid it back in its place on the floor. All the people filed out, and the woman, Eagle, and Coyote were once more alone. Now Coyote said, "Eagle, could you do that?" "Yes, I can do that," he said. He went out, and Coyote, at Eagle's direction, made a box of boards, as large as he could carry, and put into leaves from every kind of tree, and blades from every kind of grass. Eagle said, "You are sure you remember just how she did this? Let us go in and kill her." So they entered the house and killed her and buried the body. Their dress they took off and put on Coyote, so that he looked just like her, and he sat down in her place. He then told him to practice what he had seen by turning around and jumping as the old woman had done. So Coyote turned about and jumped 5 times. For the last leap was a little short, yet he managed to slide into the hole. He put the moon into his mouth, but try as he would, a thin edge still showed. He covered it with his hands. Then he laid it back in its place and resumed his seat by the wall, waiting for the sunset and the voice of the chief outside. The day passed, the voice called, and Eagle entered. Coyote turned about and began to jump. Some thought there was something strange about the manner of jumping, but others aided was really the old woman. When he came to the last jump and slipped into the pit, many cried out that this was not the old woman. But Coyote quickly lifted the moon and put it into his mouth, covering the edge with his hands. When it was completely dark, Eagle placed a box in the doorway. Throughout the long night, Coyote retained the moon in his mouth until he was almost choking. But at last the voice of the chief was heard from the outside. The dead began to file out. Coyote turned about and began to slide into the hole. But the moon into his mouth until he was almost choking. But at last the voice of the chief was heard from the outside. The dead began to file out. everyone into the box. Eagle quickly threw the cover over and tied it, and the sound was like that of a great swarm of flies. Now, my brother, we are through, said Eagle. Coyote removed the dress and laid it down beside the moon, and Eagle threw the moon into the sky where it remained. The two entered the canoe with the box and paddled towards the east. When they landed, Eagle carried the box near the end of the third night. Coyote heard somebody talking. There seemed to be many voices. He awakened his companion and said, "There are many people coming." "Do not worry," said Eagle. "It is all right." The following night, Coyote heard talking again, and looking about, discovered that the voices came from the box Eagle had been carrying. He placed his ear and listened. After a while, distinguished the voice of his wife. He smiled and began to laugh, but he said nothing more. At the end of the fifth night, at the beginning of their last day of traveling, he said to his friend, "I was carrying the box now. You have carried it a long way." "No," replied Eagle. "I will take it. I am strong. Let me carry it." He says to the other, "Suppose we come to where people live and they should see the chief carrying the load. How would that look?" Still, Eagle retained his hold on the box, but as they went along, Coyote kept begging. About agreeing with the subject, Eagle gave him the box, so Coyote had the load. Every time he heard the voice of his wife, he would laugh. After a while, he tried to fall behind, and when Eagle was out of sight behind the hill, he began to open the box in order to release his wife. No sooner was the cover lifted than it was thrown back violently. Dead people rushed out into the air with such force that Coyote was thrown to the ground. They quickly disappeared in the west. Eagle saw the cloud of dead people rising in the air and came hurrying back. He found one man left there, a cripple who had been unable to rise. He threw him into the air, and the dead man floated away swiftly. "You see what you have done with your curiosity and haste," said Eagle. "If you had brought these dead all the way back, these ones would not die forever, but only for a season, like these plants. These be of rock. Thereafter, trees and grasses will die only in the winter, but in the spring they will be green again. So it would have been with the people." "Let us go back and catch them again," proposed Coyote, but Eagle objected. "They will not go to the same place. You will not know how to find them. They will be where the moon is, up in the sky."